Welcome everyone to the show. We are back in this, and we are at the tail end of 2015. Right now, over here, Turbo Ethorians, all handful of you guys out there, ready to rock this. With me, I have Dimitri.
Yeah, buddy.
Mike.
Just a regular guest.
And our special reoccurring guest, Tom.
What's up? I'm special. I'm reoccurring. I'm back. I just keep coming back. You never know. You got to tune in. I could be here anytime.
I don't know. It's really out of control. And I am your host, Nick. And today we are going over the best in the video game industry in 2015. So, I mean, did you guys have a good year as far as like going on with, you know, all the games and such? How did it feel, guys? How did it feel for 2015?
I'm done.
Actually, a little lukewarm, I think.
Very bleak.
I'm into tabletop now. I gave up on video games.
That's why you're joining us, right?
Yeah, just to let the world know that I'm done until the industry pleases me again. Yeah. No, it was an alright year. I thought there was some good stuff that came out.
I think there was, and we will definitely get into it because what we're gonna do for most of the show, we will dive into the best that PS4 had to offer this year, make our way to Xbox One, PC, maybe 3DS, Wii U, and maybe the states of the current gen systems. So right now, I want to kind of kick it off with the PS4. How many people have the PS4 right now? About several million, including these two jokers.
Oh, I just thought you meant us.
Yeah.
We're all that really matters. The other million don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean...
Absolutely. So, what are some of the real exclusives, though, that have really wowed you, Mike? Like, I know you mentioned, like, Bloodborne before we went on the air?
Yeah, Bloodborne was a great game. I think it's the problem is it's not going to get, it's definitely not a system seller. It's a very niche game. It's a great RPG, but it's super hard. It's got that traditional Dark Souls, challenge to it.
Exactly.
That's not what's driving sales, but it's definitely a great game.
Yes, it's for.
But like you said, if everyone's buying that's kind of the same thing would happen with the Xbox 360. Everyone was buying Xbox 360s, and what was selling it was all your friends had it.
Yes.
The same thing is happening now with the PS4. Like, everyone has a PS4, so when you're going to your college dorm or your buddies, like, you're getting the same thing so you can play, Call of Duty with them. Xbox 360 had it, they fumbled the ball, and now PlayStation has picked it up.
Alright, well, I get that, but you gotta let me get my piece in. It's just not really gonna be the system seller. I don't know, to be honest, like, I know more people that are really split on both systems than actually that system itself. I can't really say that it is the 360 of right now because there's people that still are stuck on the interface of Xbox. But, you did make a good point. Bloodborne is that good game. It is that good game for this year. I think it was one of the first games this year that really came out for PS4. That was really just kind of like, not a system seller per se, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And
it was a dark horse. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Go, Tom.
I'm just going to say that a big system seller is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3.
But that's next year, and we don't want to talk about that right now.
We're on the cusp of next year. I think we can talk about it. If I'm buying
this is 2016 in review.
If we're looking forward, though, I bought the system this year because that's coming out next year, let's say.
Yeah, people buy systems for what they're going to play, and not necessarily for it's an investment. So if you see these games coming down the pipeline, that's kind of where you're going. I think I think the PlayStation 4 games appeal to an older audience, a more diverse audience of gamer, and I think that's kind of what's driving it.
Okay.
Where else are you going to play Crash Bandicoot 6?
You make a very good point, but right now we want to get into the games. So, like,
yes.
I think that's the only. So, is Bloodborne the only game out there? I mean, like, I guess you can say Rocket League for right now. But
for PlayStation, there was the Order 1886 that came out this year, but that was kind of a flop.
It was a big flop.
That's not really a best of anything.
Destiny. It's not an exclusive, but the
they
marketing...
They released an expansion for it this year.
The Taken King. Yeah, that's really taken off.
The market... I've noticed
Taken King has taken off. I love it.
I've noticed that a lot of even cross-platform games, I guess Sony gets some exclusive DLC, and a lot of cross-platform games are marketed in conjunction with PlayStation. Like, you see them come out. Like, I think Battlefront, I saw a commercial, and it was pitched as being a PlayStation 4 game. Like, I think Sony's willing to promote in exchange for exclusive content, I guess.
Well, that was Xbox's playbook in the last generation that they executed pretty well, you know, and now Sony's usurped it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, so I guess that, I mean, like, I'm not trying to hate on PS4. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what
Sounds
made...
like you are a little bit.
I'm
But
just
your
trying
decision.
I know
your
you're a
decision-
secret Xbox fanboy.
No.
You don't like to admit it, but...
Related games aside from the Xbox and PlayStation 4, is it doing something that the other isn't? Like, I don't think that's the case for either of them.
making itself backwards compatible with other games.
Good point. Good
I
point.
think, like, it would have been nice if PS4 did it, because I could have also leaned on that for the amount of backlog games I have for PS3. But for Xbox to do that, I think that is a very interesting thing, because it's like, well, I don't want to retire my 360 yet because I still have games I want to play for it. But if you're going to make it backwards compatible, you're just making me more compelled to upgrade my system, so to speak, and put that one in the closet, because...
Who retires the system? I got like 6 of them sitting right next to me.
Well, like, you're... it's just...
Well, not play it as much.
It's different when it's retro, but that's besides the point. So, I think as far as like Xbox One's games, all right, let's get the remastered out of the way. Remasters don't count, isn't that right,
Okay.
Dimitri? Like, we don't count games that have already come out. This is the most absurd generation to be re-releasing games that just came out the last generation. Am I
Yeah.
correct? Like,
Well, they're already on what? Resident Evil 0 remaster, Resident Evil 1 remaster. They've remade Resident Evil 1 like what, at least 2 or 3 times?
yeah, I mean, there's only so many of those copies you can own, but like, it's just, what really blows my mind is owning the games that came out just last generation. Like, that blows my mind. Like,
Rare Replay.
Rare Replay was a disappointment.
I don't know, but there's one game that you can kind of count on that just came out recently, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
There you go. That was exclusive, wasn't it?
It's exclusive to an extent. If we
Well,
want to get
okay.
technical, it is exclusive. In about a year, it will come out for the PS4. But the fact that you have to wait about a year if you only have a PS4 is kind of a little slight. Because, you know, you have... I think Uncharted is probably the maybe rival of Tomb Raider, like, currently. So, I mean, isn't that safe to say? So for the fact that a game like that has come out and has been pretty well received, I think that would work.
All right, so can we talk about a real console or a real game?
Yeah, the Wii U. We're talking about one right now. Bro.
One that doesn't involve babies making baby levels for other babies.
Yeah, I will say one thing about Mario Maker and its defense. I mean, the different ways people came up to play it were really interesting and surprising. You know, obviously some people went for these insanely hard levels where it's just like one person beats it and then throws it online, them doing it and gets like 1 million votes or views or whatever. You know, other people have done like those music levels, automatic levels. Some people go for like the really interesting looks and themes to levels.
There we go, yeah.
What about
So, I
Splatoon?
mean-
Splatoon was also...
Was that this year?
It was...
Yes, it was this
Yeah.
year.
They made it
was.
this year.
And it was also like a big hit. Like a almost surprising hit, because they don't really like... Nintendo likes to go back to the well. And for them to make like an original IP and really make it work, and I'm pretty sure it's still active to this day, definitely.
They did drop the ball a little bit though on the the no party system early on.
I'll agree with that.
Well, not to interrupt, but to interrupt. Yeah, Nintendo they need to embrace the internet a little more fully. I know that has something to do with 2015, but that has really hamstrung them because people want to play online. I understand that you want to protect kids from these Chester the molesters out there, but you do that with parental controls, not by making your system so Byzantine that nobody can use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that would be a really fun game that would have been available for team play. The way, with the 4 players and the way the different, weapons played differently and could have incorporated strategy. And they just really dropped the ball in that category. It could have been a big especially with the popularity of esports, that could have been something that really could have taken off for Nintendo, and they just blew it. But I mean, again, though, Nintendo kind of dropped the ball again. They didn't have that big holiday game.
All right, we've dropped the ball too much. Can we just start saying they shit the bed?
Nintendo screwed the pooch.
There we go. What more cliches can we come up with?
Let's lay low on the Nintendo insult, guys.
All right.
We're hurting Nick's feelings.
Yeah. But
we're not insulting you if you shit the bed. It happens.
it does. Well, I can't. All right. You know what? I will just end that on no comment, and we can all just assume the worst from there on out. Anyhow, now I want to close this out with everybody's game of the year. Now, I will, somebody that doesn't really dive too much into too many games recently that come out really quick, I will go with you, Dimitri. I'll start off with you. What was your game of the year?
Hold on a second. I got something queued up. Nope. You got an ad. Never mind. Hold on. This is awkward.
Performance issues.
This will make sense in just a minute. I promise you it will. It'll all be worth it. Here we go. It's coming. Here you go. Feel it in your bones. Feel it. Get hype.
That is a pretty serious reference. And for the people in the audience that don't know, you are referencing to
Metal Gear Solid 5, which is kind of a cop-out on my end because that's literally the only game I played that came out this year.
You weren't supposed to admit that, but yes, let's go with it.
But boy, did I pick one to make it count. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I have hope that they'll come out with more episodic content for it, which is a rare thing for me because I never play any of the DLCs that games come out with. But this one I hope they make some more too because there's just so much you can do in that game that it'd be a shame not to have extra stuff. Like even if it's just like a small like little area, because the Afghanistan and Africa settings can kind of blend a little bit together after a while, so it'd be nice if they had like other little smaller section, maybe more like enclosed, like calling back to its roots, where you're just like in like a big warehouse or in a big building. But Mike, I'm trying to butt in.
Oh, well, I was just thinking, even the story also, I think, just to tag on to that and kind of how it left off without spoiling anything, there's room where you can have, like, smaller little campaigns, different areas, kind of with the whole mercenary theme. I think that would be a kind of cool way for them to go. Can they pull it off without Kojima?
Yeah, right. Which is unfortunate. He is obviously no longer a part of Konami, so going forward, they're probably going to be coming up with stuff on their own unless he left, like, somebody in charge to that he trusts to take care of the franchise. But as far as the game is concerned, I was going into it with kind of low expectations because I'm not one for open world games either. They kind of bug me because I like having like a linear thing. I like a linear path sometimes and just like tell me what I got to do. I don't feel like doing side missions and stuff, but I ended up getting really into it and all the customizing options and stuff, which it is kind of a menu heavy game, but if I'm into like RPGs, so menus is like my friend a lot of the times, so I didn't mind it.
And just on that note, quick little side note, I think we can vote for Asshole of the Year to Konami. Remember to not accept any of my applications, Konami, from hearing that. But so yeah, that was a good one, Tom. That was a good one, Dimitri. I almost called you Tom. Tom, what did you have as game of the year? Did you even get to play any of the games this year? Because I know you like to hit a lot of the backlog as much as I do.
That's what I was trying to queue up earlier, and the whole thing crashed on me. So.
All right. First of all, I want to start by saying Afghanistan and Africa kind of blend together. As you said, that's a little bit racist. That's kind of.
I'm sorry.
Kind of problematic.
I'm sorry. I am voting for Donald Trump, so it all makes sense.
Well, then good. Good. He'll be not letting anybody in the country before long. I'm not getting political. I totally think that's a reasonable position. To tell you how behind the times I am, I have bought current gen titles, but I'm like furiously clearing my last gen backlog. The only current gen title from this year I can honestly say I played to any degree is Battlefront.
Oh, there you go. You got one. You got one in
But
there.
I won't give that game of the year because it's just like an okay shooter, but and it's Star Wars based. So I can't.
Let me fix that question then. What game of this year are you most looking forward to playing in your backlog sometime?
Now we're talking. It's a toss-up between Metal Gear Solid 5 and Fallout 4. I'm gonna give the nod to Metal Gear Solid 5 just because I like the absurd storyline and just ridiculousness of that franchise.
Excellent.
Thank you for saving me, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike, real quick, what is your game of the year?
Well, no game really blew me away this year.
Wow.
My pick would probably, for the best game that I played, would be Metal Gear Solid 5, but we've talked about that enough.
We have.
So I'm going to say, after that, I would say Fallout 4 and Bloodborne.
We really go with this interruption. Excellent, excellent. We see how great it is. No, but that is a good
Fallout
pick,
Fallout
Mike.
4 is... Listen, if you liked Fallout 3, you'll like Fallout 4. That's basically what I have to say about that game. It's not that different. They pretty much did the same thing, new setting, a few tweaks here and there, some for better or worse.
Nope. No, I said a few glitches here and there, but that's besides.
But all Bethesda games are glitchy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you call it like it is.
Yeah.
Bloodborne kind of was a game that I really didn't know much about until I played it. And it ended up being a really cool RPG, really cool setting. Like I said, challenging games. Games like don't seem to be challenging very much these days. So it's nice to have one that's old school Nintendo, balls to the walls hard.
Now, that's good and all, but for me to close it out, I'm probably in the same boat as Tom, as I'm too busy trying to clear up my backlog.
With Metal Gear Solid 5?
I played Metal Gear Solid 5, but everybody's already picked it, so I am going to pick a little something different, and I'm going to pick Rocket League. I think Rocket League was a very fun game.
Game of the year?
Not my game of the year, because it's the only one that really...
It's the man's list. My voice cracked a little bit, but it's the man's list.
I mean, if you want... As far as like something as a go-getter, party like starter, like something to really get somebody engaged right away, I think it definitely worth a mention for sure. I wouldn't say, like you said, I wouldn't say game of the year, but as far as my list goes, it's a little rough in the side. So I'm gonna have to.
Well, the other problem overall is in 2015, not that much awesome stuff came out. I mean, even at the Video Game Awards, with The Witcher 3 won for whatever that's worth. It won like the Game of the Year, and it's like, I mean, I'm sure that's a great game. Did I play it? No. Am I going to play it? Probably not. Am I asking myself questions? Yes.
Yes. Do you want to play Gwent, the card game? Yes, you do.
Oh.
I'm sure, like, as a
Do I want to listen to this Metal Gear Solid thing again?
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's go with it, guys. Wow. You have really taken it above and beyond. And on that note, folks, I want to close this out. We had a good talk on 2015. I think 2016 will turn a little bit better. Real quick, Tom wants to interject with something. Go for it.
I know you're trying to close the episode out, Nick, so I'll just say I think it's, at least from my perspective, testament to the kind of okay year 2015 was that I had no problem clearing a lot of games out of my backlog. Dragon's Dogma, game of the year for me this year, 2015.
Did the HD texture come out this year? Because maybe we could slap that in there.
That HD texture pack, and I played the Dark Arisen version. Oh man, amazing!
That's what dreams are made out of.
I played Peace Walker.
There you go.
Do I need to play the Metal Gear clip again? Damn it!
No, please.
It sounds like it. Let's go ahead and, as you play that out, I will go ahead and throw in the ending plug. So please cue that beautiful song for me.
I closed.
I will. Son of a bitch. There we go. All right. Well, there we go. Everyone,
you'll have to do it in post.
This is the end of 2015. Thank you for joining us. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the little thumbs up button, give us a comment, subscribe, let us know what your game of the year was, and go ahead and check out the links for the Facebook Turbo Ether, Twitter @Turbo Ether, and for everyone out there, I wish you a safe and fun 2015 going into 2016. And on that note, folks, may the Triforce be with you. Everybody get those little Triforces up.
It's a quad force tonight.
Also, check out my podcast, nerdstravaganza.com.
Yes, let me get that. Let me squeeze
Thanks for the plug, Nick. Appreciate that, man.
That was so rude of me. Nerdstravaganza.
Ooh,
Nerdstravaganza.com. Yeah, that's the way to close it out. We're ending it right there.
So long.